Good evening and welcome to Cooking with Cats, Episode 2. And tonight we're preparing a surf and turf, because look what I found in the freezer. Lobster tail, lobster tail. And also, frozen shrimp I found. And I went to the store and got porterhouse steak. I've never cooked a porterhouse steak in my life. But it looked so good and it was on sale. Oh, yeah, it was upside down. There it is. It says porterhouse on it, so that's why I think it's a porterhouse. And mushrooms and green beans from Green Line. Quick and easy. Fresh green beans, so that'll be good. And in a sauce of teriyaki noodles. Very unhealthy side, but very tasty. Yum. We'll be back after this.
Yes, you were. This is Jake. He's a good kitty. He's the bestest kitty there is, aren't you?
And then there's another one over here.
It's been asleep all night. What are we gonna do with this kitty here? You've been sleeping all night. You've been sleeping all night, poor guy. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah, sweetheart. Oh, sorry.
Okay, for the unhealthy side, we're just gonna tweak it just a little bit. For the ingredient or for the directions, it says in medium saucepan, bring 1.5 cups of water and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil or margarine, optional, to boil. Well, we don't need no stinking water. We're using beef broth. Bring on the beef broth, beef broth. All right. And for anybody curious, the beef broth is really delicious. It contains less than 1% of the following ingredients: salt, maltodextrin, yeast extract, beef flavor, yum, salt, beef extract powder, yum, beef stock. There is some beef stock in there. Autolyzed yeast extract, salt, and flavors, yeast extracts, okay, monosodium glutamate. Well, everyone's talking about monosodium glutamate. That's monosodium glutamate. Looks tasty, doesn't it? See? Oh, we don't want that. See? There's... It'll come up. Yes. There's the sodium. There's the sodium. There's the glutamate. It's an ionic compound. Notice the amine group on the bottom here, NH2. You may recognize amine as from amino acids, because there's an amino acid right there. There's the NH2 molecule right on the side there, NH2. And it combines an NH2 group with a carboxylic acid group, COOH. There's over on the right, you can see there are many different amino acids, but there are some amino acids that are considered essential, so if you don't get them, you die. Oh, here's Jazz was interested in that. Yeah, it says, oh, amino acids, let me know about that. Okay, and here you see the amino acids up in there, and a bunch of them. You can see the NH2. So anyway, wasn't that interesting? And another thing I noticed today, on a bus stop sign, have a heart condition? We have a plan. Okay, the mushrooms have been chopped very well. Nice big chunks of mushrooms. That's what I like with my steak. All right, and I'm sorry, I wanted to make just one other side point, then we'll get down to some actual cooking. Really, I promise we will be cooking at some point in the evening. Now, I was talking about monosodium glutamate, which it's pretty controversial. A lot of people, there's some people that think it's unhealthy, and people say, well, it's been proven safe by the FDA. No, I'd just like to say that I think that like food additives like that you should probably try to stay away from them anyway. You know, but I don't think it's too harmful, and I'm the unhealthy side. I am using this evening has monosodium glutamate and disodium glutamate, but I just wanted to look here. It says the glutamated MSG confers the same umami. That was a word I learned tonight. The same umami taste of glutamate from other foods. Umami. A savory taste. Why did they just say savory? Is one of the 5 basic tastes, together with sweet, sour, bitter, and salty. But scientists have debated whether umami was basic taste since Kikunai Aikita first proposed its existence in 1908. In 1985, the term umami was recognized as a scientific term to describe the taste of glutamates and nucleotides at the first Umami International Symposium in Hawaii. Well, that would have been fun to go to, wouldn't you think? Okay, now I think we should get down to some actual cooking. This is called Cooking with the Cats. And today's Cooking with Cats is dedicated to my sister Leslie. It is her birthday today, July 6th. And this was her gift. It's a clock that has a picture of jazz on it, and it says it's always a good time for jazz. And there's Jake, but there's Jazz sitting here too. So they're helping me cook. Oh, well, let's Mr. Jake. Oh, he's leaving. All right. So, Mr. Jazz, yes, Mr. Jazz. Oh, they're gonna. All right. So, mushrooms, pan, melting butter. It's an important part to saute the mushrooms in a pan. It's an important part of the process. Raw mushrooms are good in salads, but not really so great in a cooked item. That's just my opinion. You know, you'll find plenty of people that don't agree. But they're wrong! And, side note, I always wanted to start a band called Salad. I mean, I think it's a cool sounding name, and it'd be a mix of like jazz and rock and roll, kind of like Steely Dan, but maybe with some heavier blues notes. Okay. The mushrooms are going in the pan. It's like a waterfall of mushrooms. Oh, and there's some shrimp fine. They're gonna go in the dish too. Okay, we'll just stir those up a bit. Make sure there's just a tiny bit of butter in there, just a little bit. We need to cook in moderation. And smart balance. Oh, it's upside down. Smart balance, because I was looking, for the first item I came up with was stupid balance, and I thought, well, geez, there's got to be something better than that, and I came across this smart balance, so that's no hydrogenated oils in that. It's got other chemicals. We'll go into that in another episode, because there's, I don't have a degree in chemistry, so I don't understand what's in there. And actually, I wanted to chop up a little bit of garlic and put in here, but I found out that I had used all the garlic up and I didn't get any more at the store. So there's going to be a little bit of garlic salt to just give it that little bit of garlic flavor. So okay, the mushrooms are cooking away. I'm going to add a little bit of Himalayan pink salt, just a little bit to, bring the moisture out of the mushrooms. And I'm going to put in a little bit of garlic powder. I have to use two hands for this, so just one moment, please. The mushrooms are done. Plated mushrooms. Shrimp. Hot pan with melting butter. Guess what the next step is? Shrimp starting to cook. Shrimp cook rather quickly. The porterhouse steak is a tempering. The lobster tail is a thawing. The shrimp are done. Some of them maybe got a little bit over, but I think they look pretty good. And so they're going in here with the mushrooms. There they go. Now I got the mushrooms and the shrimp done. And they are actually going to go in the microwave. Because I think cats are curious about food. And the food is safer in the microwave than the cats. And there's Jazz. Oh, there's Jake out there too. He's just so sweet. Some M&M's dark chocolate candies came in mysteriously earlier. I won't cook with them, but I'll certainly eat them. Alright, I just have a little bone to pick with a couple of things here. The recipe calls for 1.5 cups of water. I bought a can of beef broth, which is exactly 14 ounces. Now, a cup and a half of water is 12 ounces, because a cup is 8 ounces. But now they get into net weight of this, because the specific gravity of water is 1. That means that the ounces, the fluid ounces, are the same as the weight in ounces. But now, although this broth is probably, it's mostly water, so it's got a specific gravity close to 1, so you can... But now what am I going to do with those other 2 ounces? I'm going to be looking for ways to... Maybe I'll take, do some kinky things with some extra beef broth. I don't know, man. What's going on with that extra 2 ounces? Okay, no, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the whole can in there and just... whatever. Be crazy. They say a watched pot never boils. Well, let's see. It's starting to steam. I've been kind of watching it, but, does that mean that if you come in 5 minutes after you start to boil it and it starts to boil, that rule, it does not apply? Because it's steaming, but I'm watching it. Don't boil, because I've always been a firm believer of that rule: a watch pot never boils. I put shuffle mode on the Pandora, and I have several different artists. Well, I see that water being a little bit more vigorous. I think that rule may not be. I'm going to write the editors of that magazine that first published that. I believe it was Cosmopolitan. You ever notice that Cosmopolitan magazine, every issue, like the #1 story, has something to do with sex? And they say men are obsessed with sex. Alright, well, I'm being silly. And this is just about to boil, so I'm going to put the lobster tail. It's the tail of the lobster. Oh, it's still alive. No. Alright, okay, just a moment.